In order to graph a linear equation like this one, y equals 3 times x minus 1, we're going to follow the pattern. We're going to follow this equation in order to be able to draw a linear function which produces a straight line on the coordinate plane. So for that purpose, we're going to select these points, these x values or input values that I am selecting in an organized way from least to greatest, for example. And the idea is to substitute those ones one by one into this equation. So I'm going to get for each input value one output value. So let's start doing this. For example, in this case, I'm going to substitute -3 here. So this operation is multiplication. So 3 times -3 is -9 minus 1, -10. If I continue doing the same thing with -2 now, I'm going to substitute -2 here. So 3 times -2, -6, minus 1, -7. Here, if x is -1, 3 times -1, -3, minus 1, -4. Now it's 0. 3 times 0, 0, minus 1, -1. If I continue that way, I will continue following this pattern of multiplication and then subtraction. So 3 times 1, 3, minus 1, 2. 3 times 2, 6, minus 1, 5. 3 times 3, 9 minus 1, 8. Now, if we plot these points on the coordinate plane, maybe some of them won't fit this space, but that's not a real problem because I can adapt the space I have available for that purpose. In this case, for example, I have my grid, so you can see 5 to the right, 5 to the left, 5 up, 5 down. And maybe this point doesn't fit, neither this one, but maybe this one fits. So let me start with this one. -1, -4, I know it's on the third quadrant, so -1, -4, this point. Then 0, -1 is on the y-axis, it's not on any of the quadrants. 1, 2 is on the first quadrant, so 1, 2, 2, 5, 2, 5, which is this one. So I'm going to connect those points now with a straight line, and I will see that all of them follow a pattern. All of them follow a pattern. So if I connect those points, the linear function is a straight line that obviously continues in both directions. So it's a good idea to draw arrowheads at both ends of the line, since it continues indefinitely in both directions forever. Now, the equation that tells me how to construct that line is this one. So I'm going to write on this line the equation y equals 3 times x and then subtract 1. Something that is called the slope is the way a line is inclined. So for example, in this case, you can see this pattern, this one that is called the rise, and this one that is called the run. So if I compare those two quantities, I can see that the rise is 1, 2, 3 units, and the run is 1 unit. So in this case, the slope is basically 3. And that's pretty much all the elements, everything you need in order to graph a linear function that comes from a linear equation.